I need to swap to voice activity. Then I need to go over here and see if I'm being picked up so I don't have that problem again for like the 10th time. Okay, good. New shield mode shortcut. Shield mode is a tool to customize and preset something something. No, fuck you, Twitch. Oh, while you guys are going over your shit again, somebody give me some D100s. Because as you'll remember, you're traveling back from Old Oakley to Snakebite Bluff, and it's
How
3
many do you
days'
want?
time.
3
For,
then?
for now, just one. Okay, do you remember that giant anaconda that you went past on your last day going to Old Oakley?
I do.
It is now gone, and there's a large, what would you even call that? Like a tread in the sand going off to the north. And you can see there are people with a fire nearby scooping up what, like, molting, I think is the word for whenever snakes shed their skin. They're scooping up the
Yeah.
moltings onto a cart.
Oh, okay, neat.
Is shedded snakeskin even valuable?
I don't know, is it? It
I
is also from like a 100-foot long snake, so
Potentially magical or something.
it would be
Can I cast detect magic on it?
it would be much more thick than normal snake skin just because of how much bigger it is. What is the range on detect magic?
um, Making me look stuff up.
let's see. I think I have detect magic.
It's a
I
30-foot emanation, apparently.
Yeah, third for elimination.
Although for level 5, we get the heightened third effect now.
Yep.
I believe so. Which is
You learn the School of Magic.
Oh, that's cool.
There is no magic from the snakeskin itself, no.
Do we want to collect some just for the hell of it?
Yeah, who knows what alchemical stuff is in it, right?
Sure.
If nothing else, it's a curiosity.
Are you just going to walk up and scoop some up like the rest of the people? I'd
I don't
say
know.
there's probably about 6 groups of people, and each one is maybe like four or 5 people.
Should we maybe figure out their interest in said snakeskin first?
I mean, we could talk to them if we felt like it.
I just don't know if it's really like worth picking up a bunch of snake skin.
I wasn't personally interested in picking up a lot, just kind of like a sample.
Would it change your opinion if I told you that everybody that appears to be doing this appears to be slovenly, unkempt, and potentially vagabonds?
Goodness.
Doesn't seem like it's a great idea to go pick up dead skin. Like,
I have a question. Do
yes,
alligators molt? I don't think
yes.
so.
Can I think of any reason why
Alligators do
snake
molt.
skin would be valuable?
Well, Mr. Gator, you would know from experience that, well, I don't know, you like rub your claws down your arm. Yeah, yeah, my skin is pretty water repellent. Kind of need that to swim in water and everything.
Hmm.
You can assume they would probably be using it as like a tarp to keep the rain out. In fact, um, you would know that your molting can last quite a long time. So, what would you at your particular village do to get rid of all the molting that would be around for decades?
Um, I imagine it could be used to make clothes. Um, whether or not that's something a family as wealthy and powerful as Mr. Gators would do is a different question, but I could see it also potentially used as like writing material. Now that I think about it,
To really try it for that, but yeah. By the way, now that Nagaji are their own separate ancestry now, do you think Mr. Gator only lived with gators or other serpentine peoples?
Bayou's got a lot of aquatic reptiles, does it not?
Probably.
So yeah, I can see it being there.
Is there a water version of Nagaji? They're too new. I haven't looked at them. There's not one that swims, but that may be a feat, and it's currently loading slow, so
Let's see.
yep, level
There's
1 feet.
hooded cobra.
Level 1 feet water Nagaji. You get breath control and a swim speed of 10. Now, if you'd like, you can roll me a second 100 for the next day.
Wow.
As you go through
I'm big.
the desert on day 2, you notice that there is what appears to be an
Right.
overturned cart until you look a little bit closer, and I'm pretty sure literally everyone here can see this, because none of you have perception that bad. Yes. You can see it moves and shifts a little bit until you can see a large claw underneath of it, because this is actually a giant hermit crab using a cart as its shell.
Oh.
Does it have a weak point?
It's probably under the shell.
Alas, how can I attack that for massive damage?
Well, you would need to get a Ridge Racer. And finally, you can give me a third one for the third day. Huh, that's weird. Whenever you guys happen to be traveling through the desert to stay, you see what appears to be a lost umbrella flying around in the air.
Lost umbrella.
Is it a umbrella injector?
It is not, no.
I have one of those. Do you want it?
Extremely important. Flying about how?
As if it's caught on the wind.
Hmm.
Mary Poppins style. It's open, right?
Yes.
Shoot it down.
Well, if you would
I
like to
don't
shoot
know.
it, I hope your gun has range.
It does, but I'm probably not going to shoot the spooky random umbrella.
But it could be fun though.
Could be. But also a waste of ammunition.
How how far away is it?
I don't know fucking diagonals, but it's about 100 feet up.
I don't think I would. It's within range of any of my guns.
It's outside the first range increment of my clan pistol, but
No, I can't do anything about that.
Is there anyone who can see us who isn't us?
Everybody that you would have got along in the supply cart, yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna do shit right now.
In that case, can I? Okay. Just give me a second. Great if
So
I
did
knew what
we
any of these settings meant.
did we shoot the umbrella?
They did not choose to shoot the umbrella.
Okay.
I mean, do you want the umbrella shot? Is it useful to anyone?
No.
Well, man, if it changes your mind, it's like a, I don't know what to call that. I guess it would be like a ruby red. Oh well, let's continue to Fire Day, apparently. At not, pretty sure it's not, you know what, 4 p.m. works. You arrive back in the town.
Hmm.
Whenever you are brought up to the saloon, some of the people that were left behind call out to you, say, "Oi, you been gone a while?"
We have.
"Oi, you remember when you left? It's about a week ago, right?"
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, we got some, well, why don't you just go right on inside and see for yourself?
Shall we mosey on to the saloon?
Or we can go to the mysterious hole. I remember the mysterious hole. Wait, no, we already went here, didn't we? The barrels?
So, Atticus, whenever you walk in, you can see none other than the mayor. However, um, he is now very sickly looking. He has a dour expression on his face, and his eyes are glowing white to now match his. Well, I guess he already had a white suit and things on at all times. However, his entire body is now also ghostly white and transparent, as you can completely see through him.
Can you be an elected official if you're dead?
Is he dead?
Can I make a trivial fucking occult knowledge check to see that he's definitely a fucking ghost?
He is definitely a ghost, yes. You don't even have to roll for it.
He could just be in the ethereal plane. You never know.
I don't know if you could see him then. I think they would be invisible at that point.
I suppose the obvious thing to do. Just go. Guess you're not in need of a doctor anymore, are you?
Oh, well. I guess a certain type of doctor, maybe.
Me, not that kind of doctor.
You are the ones that I sent off to go check on the mines in Fresno, are you not?
That is
Yes.
correct. They were the
Well,
mines full of the hounds with the undead body that had like the bugs inside of it, I think.
it was
Right.
mangy coyotes and
That's what it
a
was.
zombie, yes. A zombie with mosquitoes in it or something. Wasps.
Yeah, wasp swarm in it.
Well, is
Oh
there
yeah, that suck.
any chance that you lot have got some good news for me for once?
The town has recently been de-skeletonized.
Oh yes, as the other soldiers have told me. Ah, that reminds me. You haven't been here to hear the stories, have you? Has anyone told you yet?
I doubt it.
Told us what?
He kind of just gestures towards himself, and then the rest of the saloon that is now barred up, basically. All the windows are. It wouldn't be barred up. They'd be it planks over
Boarded
them.
up?
Barricaded. That's the word I'm looking for.
um, the bar is open for business, or
Well, from what these fine men have informed me, it seems as though at least Patricia got out better than the rest of us. In hindsight, it seems like we should have went with her, but I'm glad at least the word got out, or most of it.
Going to issue a general suggestion that emergency evacuation plan that puts everybody in a room with no exits. We might want to revise that one.
Well, it wasn't exactly like I have much experience dealing with the undead, you know.
You have experience now.
It was quite abrupt at that.
Yes, the alternative would be fleeing into the desert without any preparation.
Yep.
So, what keeps you here, Mayor Dale?
Well, how about I answer that in the form of a story? And in the meantime, why don't you all pull up a stool and he'll reach over to try to grab a bottle off of the shelf and then quickly realize, oh yeah, I can't really do that anymore. And then try to make a sly gesture towards it like he was trying to do that the whole time and say, have yourselves whatever strikes your fancy.
Garland just grabs something.
It's not like old Dusty's around anymore to stop you anyways. Not that money do us any good either way. Well, from what I've heard, Patricia got most of the story out about whenever the skeletons happened upon the town and we got everybody into the saloon. But she wasn't exactly around to see the rest of it. And none of the boys here have had time to go spread the word elsewhere. She left us at a quite inopportune moment. Right whenever a bunch of big brutes happened to be running into the saloon, and another spell slinger out on the hill throwing all types of shit at us. We managed to take out the biggins, but the deputy didn't, well, honorary sheriff, that is. He didn't get out of it too well. He was bleeding out on the floor. We kept our heads down, trying to figure out what we're going to do about that damn spell slinger outside while we were trying to, keep all that blood on the outside from, or keep all that blood on the inside from getting outside. We didn't know what to do for quite some while until started to hear some gunshots off in the distance, and a boom that darn near sounded like it'd blow the wall straight off the saloon. So we took that opportunity to drag ourselves behind the bar. Shortly afterward, we happened to hear none other than Sheriff Bronson calling out in the middle of the town. It was awful convenient of him to show up right after all the action was over, or about over. I didn't think nothing of it until went out there and seen him standing in the middle of the town, side by side by none other than the Vuzrut Man Shredder himself. He had that cannon slung over his shoulder like it were a fucking towel or something. There's not a single scrumpum boy inside along with him.
Hmm. So you think he was in cahoots with him?
Well, seemed like they took that spell slinger out by themselves and didn't need no help from us. Probably not that difficult when you're holding a cannon that can broadside the entire wall off your barn. We got to talking after we stitched up old Stark there, and seems as though the sheriff was in a firefight with Vuzzrut the whole time that the town was in danger. Some point they got to a standstill until they started hollering across the way from each other. Seems as though that Vuzzrut was double-crossed by some man he been working for, sending out them obsidian stones that y'all found. They had some business deal what done gone south, and he was looking for revenge, and the sheriff negotiated a mutual deal between the two of them. If he helps him find this skeleton master he's looking for, justice system will just turn a blind eye to whatever Vuzzrut wants to do to him. That way we get rid of these skeletons, he gets rid of a bad business partner. Seems like a good deal to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, it turns out old Vuzzrut wasn't too keen on shipping bodies around anyways. Rubbed him all wrong like. Not sure why he decided to do it in the first place then. Must have been good money.
Sounds like we have our connection to Old Oakley. Do you know where they went? Are they still nearby?
Well, I'd imagine not. It's been quite some time since I seen him go, but they made sure we was okay and then left off towards the Presley estate. Ain't seen him since. None of the soldiers have seen him since. Can't tell what happened after that. All I remember was we barricaded up this here saloon, decided to take watches for the night just in case, and then he just looks down and takes his hat off and gestures towards the rest of himself. Don't exactly know what happened, but here I am.
Hmm. Did they say why they went to the Presley estate?
That's the best idea that Vuzzrut had about where he was hanging out. All his all his boys always happen to take the bodies to that old haunted church as a liaison, I guess you could call it. But he made sure to have his little boys go follow him, see where he happened to go, just in case, you know.
Hmm. Okay. What else do we want to ask? Did you ever receive shipments from the Presley estate? Or the
If
saloon, perhaps?
if we did, I didn't get any notice of it. It's not too uncommon around here for paperwork to get mixed up anyways. Probably should have
Hmm.
hired some type of accountant, maybe somebody to work the papers. I don't know. Not like it matters much anymore.
So you're the only one that's still around, it seems.
Well, if the others are around, I sure can't see them. And if I can't see them, don't imagine that none of you guys could either.
So they're either somewhere else or they didn't return. When you woke up, were you alone?
Suppose you could say that.
Did you wake up in the saloon or were you somewhere else?
Well, I weren't where I last remembered, that's for sure. I remember setting up in the back next to the, you know, all the kegs and whatnot. But when I woke up, I was just, weren't exactly looking at myself. It was more like sitting out in the front looking in.
But still in the cellar.
Nah, not the cellar, just the back rooms. He gestures over to the left and through the, well, I would say through the door, but there are no doors anymore in this establishment. Except the front shutter doors, because they just flop open whenever you walk into them, so.
So I'm trying to think. Like normally ghosts stick around if they have unfinished business. Or if they've been forcibly created, I imagine. Is that kind of a correct thought?
Yes.
Okay. So does Mayor Dale do you have unfinished business, Mr. Dale?
Oh, well. Quite literally lots of it, yes. But if you mean just in general and not as in actual business expenses, yes.
What's that?
After all, Mr. Fairchild, you certainly were looking after a horse that didn't show up, correct?
Valid.
I certainly would like to know anything else related to this here skeleton master. Certainly would like to know what happened to old Jordan as well. And that there priest, Buck Hardley, I believe his name was.
I was gonna laugh if his unfinished business was that you didn't find that horse for me.
That would be regrettable, as that is a debt I will have to pay.
Hmm. So sounds like we should visit the Presley estate and see if we can find any clues or perhaps run into Sheriff Bronson. Any suggestions, thoughts?
Well, if y'all are gonna go follow them, then do something right by me and come back with some good news for once, you hear? I'd rather not be spending my life and my unlife, as it were, worrying about things. Besides, I am curious what Vuzrut's planning anyhow.
If I come back and you're somehow a double ghost, I'm gonna be cross.
Well, good news is I ain't ever heard of no double ghost before. It would be nice to be a first for once.
Where is the commanding officer, Annalise? Is she in the saloon?
Well, last I seen her, she was with somebody taking inventory about what's all left. It shouldn't be much of a problem now that you've brought things back, or brought some new stuff to us.
Right. We need to report in with her anyways.
He's going to unsubtly look to all of the soldiers in the room and then gesture you over closer. Before you go, why don't you check over here underneath Dusty's alcohol rack? So bottom shelf on the left side. He points to it, and you can see like a long bottleneck sticking out from under it. I've seen him use that many a time before. It's too much for a single bottle, in fact. May as well take it with you on account of him not having much use for it anymore.
Alex will take a look at this.
Here you go, Mr. Gator.
What is this? Can I spend some time identifying this?
You can.
Um, there you go.
Can I click on this in your inventory for it to show? No.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
If you go to the items tab, I'm going to have to set this as owner for everyone. There's the two forms of it.
Thank you kindly, Mayor. You see
Well,
Mr. Gator kind of bounce the bottle in his hand a bit.
well, don't thank me. Thank old Dusty. And while you're doing it, you may as well take whatever alcohol you want with you. Speaking of which, I will be right back and getting more tea.
Did anybody want to use this bottle in particular, or should I just kind of hang on to it?
Yeah, hold on to it.
Yeah, it wouldn't do much for me.
I imagine Kuka might actually like this.
Kuka or... I was gonna say if Garmer wants to dual wield, but he has shield.
I can dual wield shields. What kind of shield is it?
It's not a shield. That's what I was saying.
Oh,
If you're using a shield, you wouldn't want to dual wield this.
oh, what is this?
It's a magic bottle um, that if you get a critical hit, it breaks and becomes a war razor.
You can choose to break it.
Oh, so I hit things with a bottle,
Yep.
or I can choose to break it and it becomes a war razor.
You can choose
Is it
to
a
break it
consumable?
on a crit.
Okay.
It functions as a light mace.
Okay, that's neat. I can use a light mace, but maybe Kuka?
That's
Because
kind of what
then,
I was
yeah,
thinking. Like
because light
either,
maces are finesse, right?
yep, it's agile and finesse. So I was thinking either myself or Kuka for the moment.
Yeah. And for Kuka, Kuka can also like pretend it's not a weapon, which is neat. Like conceal it.
I don't know if you can conceal it because it's a +1 striking bottle and it
It's a bottle
reforms.
though. Like what does it look like? Just a bottle, right?
It's a bottle with weapon runes on it, yes. It has a long, thin neck, and the end of it, the actual bottle part that holds the liquid, is really thick.
Yeah, I think it's easier to conceal this than like other weapons.
I would say so, yeah.
Because it's like a bottle. Like who would be like, oh, that bottle has weird runes on it.
They would have to know what weapon runes are to realize that it's a weapon.
That or like detect magic to realize something is up.
That too. Because the runes are evocation runes.
All right. I imagine we should go check in with Annalise, let her know that we got a convoy started.
While you're walking out, the mayor leans over the counter and says, "Oh, Mr. Fairchild,
Yes.
you can see the whiteness of his eyes. They look like they're completely piercing through you." And he just says, "You are relieved of your duty."
You're going to need to specify which one.
Well, none of the other horses that happen to be in the stables made it. So, don't really need to know about the last one, now do I?
I suppose. Still curious, though.